What I'm about to share with you in this video is something truly eye-opening, and honestly, it's pretty disturbing once you fully grasp it. It might completely change the way you see women, possibly forever. But here's the kicker. Understanding this will also give you a huge advantage when it comes to attracting women, making it easier than you ever imagined. So, let's get straight into it. Back in 2008, a movie called Twilight hit theaters. This wasn't just any movie. It was the start of the Twilight series, which quickly became a massive cultural phenomenon. Everyone heard about it. What made it so fascinating wasn't just the story itself, but how it captured the hearts of millions of women around the world. And I mean women of all ages, teenagers, moms, even grandmothers became hooked on this story. It was all about a love triangle, but not just any love triangle. It was one that was far from balanced, yet it managed to captivate such a wide audience. So here's how that love triangle worked. On one side, you had Jacob Black, played by Taylor Lautner. Jacob was this strong, muscular werewolf. He wasn't just physically impressive, but also kind, loyal, and emotionally supportive. He was the dependable, steady guy who was always there for the main character, Bella Swan. He represented safety, warmth, and consistency, the kind of guy you'd think would be the obvious choice for anyone looking for a healthy relationship. On the other side of the love triangle was Edward Cullen, portrayed by Robert Pattinson. Unlike Jacob, Edward was the quintessential brooding vampire, cold, distant, and mysterious. He wasn't just emotionally unavailable, he actively disappeared on Bella for long stretches, leaving her in emotional turmoil and confusion. Edward's communication was cryptic at best. He often spoke in riddles and half-truths, never fully revealing his thoughts or feelings. When he looked at Bella, it was with such intensity and unpredictability that it felt like he could either protect her or destroy her at any moment. Every encounter with Edward was charged with tension, a volatile mix of fear, desire, curiosity, and pain. Instead of providing comfort, he often left Bella feeling emotionally off balance and deeply unsettled. Now, if you step back and look at things logically, Jacob was the clear, better option. He was the dependable, kind-hearted, and loyal guy, the classic nice guy who saved Bella's life multiple times throughout the series. Jacob's love for Bella was unconditional. He never played games or manipulated her emotions. He stood for everything that people generally consider the foundation of a healthy relationship: stability, safety, and even a little bit of fun. Jacob was there when Bella needed him, consistent and unwavering, embodying the ideal partner that you would expect anyone to want. Edward, in stark contrast, was essentially a walking red flag. He was the type of guy who ghosted Bella for weeks or even months at a time, leaving her feeling abandoned and confused. He didn't just disappear physically, he emotionally withdrew too, making Bella question her worth and their relationship. Throughout the series, he openly warned her, saying things like, "I'm dangerous for you," or "I'm too dangerous for you." These weren't just empty words. They reflected his constant emotional volatility and the intense risk that came with being with him. Edward was emotionally disruptive on a whole other level. He represented danger, unpredictability, and a whirlwind of feelings that could be thrilling, but also deeply unsettling. He was the classic bad boy vampire, enigmatic, powerful, and utterly unpredictable. But here's the kicker. Despite all these red flags, or perhaps because of them, Bella couldn't pull away from Edward. And it wasn't just Bella. Millions of fans around the world were drawn to him in the same way. This obsession sparked what became known as the Team Edward phenomenon, a massive cultural movement that swept through the internet and social media. Fans across the globe passionately aligned themselves with Edward, creating entire communities, fan pages, and forums dedicated to him. Girls of all ages, from teenagers to adults, would scream his name at movie premieres, write fan fiction that flooded the internet, and create artwork and stories celebrating his dark allure. This devotion was fascinating because it revealed something deeper than just a love for vampires or supernatural romance. It showed how powerful the attraction to emotional intensity and danger could be, especially when packaged in a mysterious, brooding figure like Edward. Even though Jacob was the safer, kinder choice, Edward's dark, unpredictable nature held an undeniable magnetic pull that captivated the hearts and minds of so many. Quick break. Close your eyes for a second. Picture her, the girl you've always wanted. Feel what it would be like to actually have her. Now open your eyes, because here's the truth. Right now, you're invisible to her. You're getting outcompeted by guys with more money, better looks, higher status, and stronger game. You're playing a rigged game, and you're losing. But I've spent the last 35 years mastering this, studying, testing, and finally finding the secrets to get the girls I always wanted. You want to stop getting ignored? You want her chasing you? Then you need to wake up and act. Click the link in the comments if you are truly committed and take the first step toward becoming that guy. Few spots left. Be fast or miss out your last chance to make her yours. Let's get back to it. At movie premieres, Edward, the so-called evil vampire, became a lightning rod for adoration and obsession. Women of all ages, from teenagers to adults, would scream his name, chant for him, and fill the air with excitement whenever he appeared on screen or in public. But his influence didn't stop there. The internet exploded with fan fiction, artwork, memes, and entire online communities dedicated to this enigmatic character. Stories about Edward flooded social media platforms, blogs, and forums, with countless fans pouring their passion into imagining every possible scenario involving him. It was clear that Edward was far more than just a fictional character. He was a cultural phenomenon. What's truly fascinating is how women described their feelings toward Edward. They often said that whenever they saw him on screen, they felt something intense and inexplicable. It was a feeling that went beyond simple attraction or admiration. It was emotional, confusing, and powerful all at once. Many couldn't quite articulate what that something was, but they knew it was there. This sensation made them nervous, curious, and even a little scared, yet utterly fascinated. It was like a magnetic pull that they couldn't resist or understand fully. If you take a step back and analyze what was really happening, it becomes clear that this obsession wasn't about vampires or supernatural lore at all. The real reason Edward captivated so many women lies in the realm of human emotions. His character, both on screen and in the collective imagination of the fans, triggered a wide and intense range of feelings. Edward stirred longing, a deep yearning for something unknown but intensely desired. He sparked uncertainty and tension, keeping hearts on edge. He ignited desire and passion, fueling fantasies that were both thrilling and dangerous. There was jealousy and possessiveness, fear and lust, all woven into the complex emotional tapestry he created. On the other hand, Jacob, the kind and steady werewolf, made perfect sense on paper. He was safe, reliable, and stable. He represented everything logical and sensible. But Edward was the one who made a woman's heart pound, the one who caused butterflies to flutter wildly in her stomach. He was the source of emotional highs and lows, the thrilling unpredictability that kept fans hooked. Women are often irresistibly drawn to the man who embodies the exact opposite of stability, predictability, and the nice guy stereotype. It's the unpredictable, mysterious type, someone like Edward from Twilight, who awakens a whirlwind of intense emotions. This is the kind of guy who keeps a woman guessing, who creates emotional highs and lows, and who stirs passion, curiosity, and excitement all at once. But here's the crucial insight. You don't have to be toxic or manipulative to embody this power. The key is understanding that intensity of emotion is what creates lasting memories and true impact in a woman's mind. It's intensity, the roller coaster of feelings, that makes women remember you long after the moment has passed. It's what gives your presence emotional weight and significance. And it's important to realize that these emotions don't have to be purely positive or comfortable. In fact, even messy or negative emotions like jealousy, frustration, or longing can spark attraction just as powerfully as happiness or comfort. Attraction isn't a logical process. It's driven entirely by emotion. The brain remembers what made it feel something deep and intense, not just what was nice or predictable. Now here's the most fascinating part of this entire story. Kristen Stewart, the actress who played Bella, the main female protagonist in the Twilight series, ended up dating Robert Pattinson in real life. Robert Pattinson, of course, played Edward, the dark, brooding, and intense vampire. This choice wasn't just happenstance. Despite Taylor Lautner, who portrayed Jacob, the kind-hearted, loyal, and safe werewolf, being well known off-screen as friendly, outgoing, and genuinely nice, Kristen Stewart's real-life romantic interest was the actor who represented emotional intensity and unpredictability. This real-life example perfectly illustrates the point. Emotional intensity trumps stability and niceness, even outside the realm of fantasy and movies. It's not about being toxic or harmful, it's about creating emotional resonance and making a woman feel alive in your presence. This is the hidden truth behind why women are drawn to the bad boy archetype or the mysterious, emotionally complex figure like Edward. It's the emotional experience, the thrill, the passion, and the unpredictability that captivates and keeps their attention. She chose the so-called evil guy, the dark, mysterious vampire. In real life, she ended up with the very actor who played that brooding character. How incredible is that? This isn't just a coincidence, it's a striking example of how art imitates life. The stories, the dramas, the patterns we see on screen often reflect deeply rooted truths about human behavior and relationships. These narratives reveal dynamics that are played out in real life more often than we realize. The Twilight story is no exception. It's a mirror to the emotional realities that women experience and respond to in the real world. Now, here's what you must truly grasp. The man who sparks the most intense emotions, the one who creates butterflies in a woman's stomach, makes her pulse race, fills her with both excitement and uncertainty, sometimes frustration and confusion, that is ultimately the man who wins her heart. This is the guy who leaves an unforgettable mark. Because at the core of it all, especially when it comes to women, the brain doesn't remember the nice guy in a lasting way. It doesn't engrave the image of the predictable, steady, or always dependable partner as deeply as it does the man who makes her feel something real and intense. What women remember, and what truly stays with them, are those powerful emotional moments. The thrill, the tension, the longing, the joy, the fear, and even the pain. These emotions create a lasting imprint in their memory and their hearts, and while some of these experiences might sometimes hurt or confuse them, the intensity of feeling is what draws them back again and again. The safe, stable guy might be the one they choose to settle with, but it's the emotionally intense guy who occupies their thoughts, fantasies, and hearts. This dynamic played out vividly in Twilight, and it's a reality that echoes beyond fiction. It's one of the most difficult truths to accept, but also one of the most enlightening. Women's hearts often follow the emotional roller coaster. They seek the thrill, the passion, the unpredictability. More times than not, they gravitate towards the person who shakes up their emotional world rather than the one who keeps things calm and safe. When it comes down to it, most women are drawn to the guy who offers the most intense, unforgettable experiences, the one who makes their hearts race and leaves a lasting impression. And sure, you might feel upset or think, that's not fair, but the truth is, this pattern is deeply rooted in human nature. The vast majority of men approach attracting women by playing it safe, trying to be the nice guy, the steady, dependable, stable presence who is always there, predictable and reliable. This is the path most men choose because it seems logical, respectable, and the right way to win affection. It's what 90% of men do, and it's often encouraged as the best strategy to build a lasting relationship. Even when this approach works, when you succeed in getting a woman to settle down with you, there's a critical psychological truth you have to understand. Human beings, women included, are wired to crave unpredictability, excitement, and emotional intensity. It's not just a women's thing, it's a basic aspect of human psychology. Our brains are naturally drawn to what is rare, mysterious, and thrilling. We all daydream and fantasize about the person who embodies those qualities, the opposite of safe, stable, and comfortable. It's this craving for the wild, the unknown, and the intense that keeps life vibrant and engaging. So, even if you manage to win over a woman by being the steady, dependable, nice guy, there's a strong chance she'll secretly find herself daydreaming about someone very different. Someone more like Edward from Twilight, the dark, mysterious, and unpredictable bad boy. The guy who stirs up intense emotions, makes her feel alive, and offers that emotional roller coaster she can't resist. If you're not willing or able to tap into that emotional intensity, that spark of unpredictability and mystery, then you're likely to find women much harder to attract. And even if you do attract them, maintaining their passionate interest becomes a constant uphill battle. Because what truly makes a woman remember you, desire you, and keep coming back isn't just kindness or stability, it's the emotional highs and lows, the thrill, the mystery, all the things the bad boy embodies. Understanding this dynamic is crucial. It doesn't mean you have to be toxic or manipulative, but it does mean that if you want to genuinely captivate and hold a woman's attention, you need to understand the power of emotional intensity and unpredictability. That is what creates lasting attraction and deep emotional connection. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. If this message spoke to you or gave you something to think about, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new drop. I've got more real talk, more growth, and more power coming your way. So stay locked in. And if you're going through something right now, just remember, your silence can say more than 1,000 words ever could. Take care of yourself, keep rising, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.